Guys, welcome back to my IAM lab series, where my goal is to take the skills of my resume and bring them to life with these videos. And today I decided to show my face. Been gone for a while because of the holidays and other distractions in my life, but I'm back to share some fire content with you guys. For a brief recap, in our last video, we created user accounts, created groups, added roles to those groups, and added users to the groups, all using the Microsoft Graph PowerShell module. In this video, we'll be creating a PowerShell script that takes a CSV file and creates user accounts based upon the information within. In a professional setting, this type of script could be used for temporary users who may not be necessarily processed through the HR system. This script is a game changer for my help desk family. Trust me, I know where you're at. So enough talking, let's jump straight in. All right, so one of the first things that I do is I start off with a parameter block. All right, we're gonna have a parameter called CSV path for the path for the file, the log file path for the log file. In just a second, I'm gonna paste in a function that I have to write the logs, but I'll go ahead and write this global function variable here so that I can use it within the function. So let's go ahead and grab that, copy it and paste it. And basically what a function is like reusable code that you can save and use in different places in the script and call it like a commandlet. You see, I don't want to write this multiple times when I could take this functionality and use it in multiple scripts. You see, we have like a checksum to see if the folder actually exists, the log folder, and if it doesn't, it goes ahead and creates it. We got the timestamp here. We got write to log file functionality here. So I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but what it basically does is it creates logs of everything that I set it to create logs for. And we'll use write-log to call it. Next thing that we'll do is create the functionality that checks to see if the module is already imported into the session. If not, it'll go ahead and import the module into the session. All right, and then we'll create a variable and store the output of get-module and Microsoft.graph in that variable. All right, and we'll go ahead and use an if statement to check and see if there's anything in the variable. If it is, then it'll display importing module and then import the module. Right? If not, use else statement, module already imported into session. All right, so now it's time to connect to the Microsoft Graph. So I'm going to create the variables for the scope permissions here. Scope, and the only permission we really need is user.readWrite.all for this. All right, and we're gonna connecting and authenticating the Microsoft Graph using the scope. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use a try catch statement. What that basically does is it checks to see if there's an error, and if there is, it'll throw out an error message that's suitable for the script. This is how we set up error handling. All right, connect -mg graph, have the scopes, put the scope variable there, and -no welcome. Okay. Error action stops. It'll stop the script if it fails here, and it'll present this error message. Just throw up the exception message. If it fails, then it'll stop the script. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and import data from CSV file. We'll create that log function. All right, so one thing that I forgot to do, and I want to go back and do some more error handling, is on installing the module if it's not installed already. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up that functionality real quick. So create a variable called module installed here, and then we'll do another if statement. I'll just copy and paste this here and just put that there. install module. And I'll surround it with a try catch. And then do some error handling there. There we go. That's done. Installed, yep. Module installed. Boom. Put exit there, so if it fails there, then it's gonna exit the script. Alright, so let's finish with our import data functionality. I'm going to create a variable called users and import the path into the user's variable. Alright, and if it fails, then we'll have the error message. Alright, and then we'll focus on creating the users now. We're going to iterate through with a for each statement here, and we're going to validate and sanitize the user data to make sure that everything is there in the data, and if it's not, it'll give us a log message, missing data for user, and then it'll display the user name based on the data and drop it into a JSON file. And we want it to continue and not just stop the script, so it'll continue. Yep, and now that we have our user data there, we'll go ahead and dump this data into variables, right? And the dot display name, dot username, that's just the columns in the CSV data, if you want to think about a spreadsheet. All right, but they have to be exactly, you know, how the in the same format that the column header is in the CSV file. All right, so next we'll create a hash table with some of the mandatory parameters for the the new -mg user commandlet. Right. There's a ton more parameters than this, but we'll just start with that and make this script really simple. All right, and Microsoft Graph, for splatting, you just use the body parameter and you use the variable for the parameter that you wanna for your hash table. And notice that I put out-null so that the output of new mg user doesn't go to the terminal. Instead, it goes to out-null. Alright, another thing I forgot to do is do the log level. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy and paste. In a second, I'm going to copy and paste the log level parameter to all of the error messages so that we can differentiate just regular info from error message once it's in the log. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to save that. We're pretty much done with our script. So we need a CSV file, and so I'm going to use ChatGPT. Alright, so I created a prompt already for this. I'm going to copy and paste it in here. And it basically says that I'm working on an Entra ID lab where I have a PowerShell script that takes a CSV file and creates user accounts. I need you to create and output a fictitious CSV file with 50 new employees. Here are the columns in the exact format I need them in: display name, username, email address, and password with no heading or trailing spaces. So let's go ahead and make sure there's no heading and trailing spaces in the column headers, just to be specific. All right, let's give that a second. All right, and look, it created it. I'm gonna download it, open it, and you see. But I realized, okay, then you actually use fictitious email address. So one thing that I forgot to mention is that I need the domain, the email address to be CSV. Okay, So it's like we got it this time. See, AI is very useful. I'm going to show you how many accounts I currently have. Just one. Let's just give our script a try. The CSV file here. Alright, it's running. Oh, got some errors. Let's see. Looks like this error could be two duplicates. It might come from the CSV file. Okay, so let's check. It created all of those accounts. Let's go in Entra and delete these accounts. I'm probably gonna have to recreate that CSV file and tell ChatGPT to rule out any duplicates. Let's try it again after that. Download it. Yep, let's give it another shot. Boom. That should work. Completed. Let's refresh, and as you can see, these are all the accounts that it created.
Just about wraps up our video. I hope you can see that while you may invest a little bit of time in creating a script, it can definitely save you a lot of time when you're tasked with creating a bunch of accounts for groups of temporary employees, or even putting together a script to manage new hires in general if your company doesn't have a workflow for that. Keep in mind that the script that we did is very simple and a whole bunch of advanced functions. I could have added that to it, and that could be done later. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you can relate. Peace, and I'm out.